Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Figuring out what to do. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. President Obama is under siege. Poll numbers declining rapidly. Almost everywhere he looks, there's chaos. Even some of the president's core supporters, like Hillary Clinton, are now creating distance. The key question is, why is the president so often caught off guard when bad things happen? Here's what I said last Friday. When Putin invaded Crimea, America was caught by surprise. When terrorists killed 4 Americans in Benghazi, Libya, America was caught by surprise. When the VA scandal broke in Phoenix, Arizona, the administration was caught by surprise. When thousands of children started illegally walking across the southern border, there was surprise in Washington. And now, with Iraq on the verge of collapse, guess what? They're surprised. But the president says they're working hard on the problem. Truth is, we still have no concrete strategy about what to do in Iraq, even as the al-Qaeda army is close to seizing that country's main oil refinery and has already butchered thousands of people. The president had yet another meeting today about Iraq. He has lots of meetings, but action remains delayed. Also today, the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, 4-star General Martin Dempsey, was questioned by a Senate committee.
We have a request from the Iraqi government for air power.
You do?
We do. And
do you think it's in our national security interest to honor that request?
It is in our national security interest to counter ISIL wherever we find them.
That is correct, General. So why haven't we? Why hasn't the United States been confronting the al-Qaeda army? The ISIS people, they control parts of Syria and northern Iraq. And we have known that for a long time. So why, General, haven't we done anything about it? The president and others say we must first deal with the Iraqi government in Baghdad before we can strike the al-Qaeda army. That is pure bull. It is al-Qaeda versus us, we, the American people. We don't need to involve ourselves with Iraqi politics to defend ourselves against terrorists on the march. Are we all clear about that? President Obama's most effective war on terror strategy has been using drones to kill al-Qaeda all over the world. We don't get government's permission to do that. So why have we stopped offensive actions in the face of an al-Qaeda army that's seizing vast amounts of territory in the Middle East? Why? The hallmark of an effective government is having solutions at the ready. The Obama administration is caught by surprise nearly every time something bad happens. Is our CIA that lame? We spend billions of dollars every year on intelligence, and these people don't know anything? Is that even possible? We will talk with a former CIA director later in the broadcast. So, summing up the Iraq deal, the USA should begin bombing the al-Qaeda army as soon as possible. We don't need any more meetings. Let's send a message that terrorists remain targets. Al-Qaeda is our enemy. You know, I feel like I'm lecturing 4th graders here. That's how bad this Iraq mess really is. The president should have been way out in front of this. Now, down to the border, another colossal catastrophe. Nearly 50,000 foreign children now being shipped around the USA by the federal government. In fact, planes full of kids and some illegal alien adults are landing in faraway states like Massachusetts, where the Democratic governor says he wasn't informed.
I have a question about this story about the illegal immigrants. Did you hear about that?
I'm just hearing about it. I don't know anything else about it.
Is this happening? Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, and you would, right? You were in a position where you would know if that's going on at Hanson.
I don't know anything about it.
Unbelievable. And Deval Patrick is a very close friend to the president. So what we have here is the feds allowing illegal aliens into America in great numbers, then flying them around the country without asking permission from the states. Is that insane? The answer is yes, it is insane. Confronted with the chaos, Democratic stalwart Hillary Clinton says this.
But we have to send a clear message. Just because your child gets across the border, that doesn't mean the child gets to stay. So we don't want to send a message that is contrary to our laws or will encourage more children to make that dangerous journey.
Mrs. Clinton knows that if the border authorities are letting folks into the country, as they are, we'll soon have millions more children and adults marching across the border. But get this, Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State when the whole debacle began. She certainly knows that this is organized human trafficking that Mexico will do nothing about. And that brings us to Mexico. It is time for all of us to stop going there. That country's not our friend. It knows and helps the millions of people that are crossing its territory to enter the USA illegally. Mexico is allowing that to happen. Why? Because they don't really like us, and they're corrupt. They get money to allow the human trafficking. Add to that the Marine, Sergeant Tamaresi, who has post-traumatic stress disorder, incarcerated down there, and you have Mexican President Nieto giving us the middle finger. Well, you know what, Mr. Nieto? You know what? I'm not going to your country. And I'm asking every American to boycott you because you and your government is harming the USA. Tourism in Mexico, a $12 billion industry, and America provides about half that. So let's stop rewarding Mexico until they stop hurting us. It's long past time for the American people to get tough with our politicians in Washington who seem to know nothing, and with foreign nations who harm us. Not to mention Al-Qaeda, who would cut your head off in an eye blink. When are we, the people of this country, going to wake up? When? And that's a memo.